I remember as a kid, I think we'd gotten, as a family, we got home from some sort of vacation or a weekend somewhere, and I had ordered a pizza. I was a chubby kid, and I was sitting on the couch. I turned on the TV, and the news came on. And well, you, of course, are going to know this, the Arizona Lights. And it was a freaking craft this size of like a football field flying over Arizona.
Today marks 26 years since the mysterious Phoenix Lights appeared over the valley.
And we still don't know what it was, but there are plenty of theories out there. It was the evening of March 13th, 1997. People across Arizona, especially here in the valley, reported seeing a silent, miles-long V-shaped group of lights gliding quietly overhead. Was it a military mission, a prank perhaps, or visitors from outer space? The questions and confusion over the sighting have only grown during the prevailing years.
And you've got numerous people witnessing the same thing. And that's, I believe, one of the criteria previously before people like yourself came out into the world and started telling regular people like myself all this information. I would listen to guys like Michio Kaku, and he's like, well, some of it is swamp gas, and some of these sightings are balloons, weather balloons. But I remember him saying, when you've got a group of people who've all seen the same thing or who have some form of evidence, that's something credible that you need to investigate. And I remember as a kid sitting on the couch going, there's no way. Like, what is that? We're going to get some sort of an explanation. And we never did, and yet it went away. These things just go away. How is it possible that a craft the size of a football field flew over Arizona and was seen by dozens of people, and it just vanishes? What do you think it is with people like me? No government needed to cover that up. We just all kept cruising. We just all kept going.
Well, the government has been very effective over decades of creating this layer of stigma and taboo around the UFO topic. And it's made it almost impossible to have a cogent conversation about it, because the moment you mention the word UFO, just even 10 years ago, as a journalist, you'd be relegated to the tabloid, right? You would be laughed at. Anybody who said that they saw a UFO or experienced it, they'd be mocked and ridiculed. And so it was a very effective mechanism by the government to really suppress the topic and the discussion of UFOs. If you look at all the cheesy B movies back in the 1950s of people being zapped and Mars attacks, there was a very carefully orchestrated operation that was in play by the U.S. government to suppress people from wanting to report. And look, I tell people all the time, when I grew up as a kid in the 80s, and this sounds horrible. And, and I look back and I'm completely ashamed of myself that I thought this was okay behavior. But I had a shirt in high school that I would wear, and it said on it, "Kill Kami for mommy." Right. And that was cool. And not everybody agreed, the Russians were terrible, and Red Dawn and, the nuclear war. Now think about that for a minute. Talk about promoting violence, right? And promoting violence against an enemy which you've never met. You have no idea if they're good or bad. And yet, because you've been told over and over and over again, been drilled in your head by academia and by the geopolitical machine, that communists are bad, which, by the way, for the record, I do not subscribe to communism. I don't think it works. I think it's a failed system, but it doesn't mean that people are bad, right? It just means that people subscribe to a government that's really, not very effective at a lot of things. But it doesn't mean that Russians are bad people. But that's what we were taught to think. We were taught to really hate Russians. And it wasn't until after the Berlin Wall came down that we realized, oh, wow, they're a heck of a lot like us. The government might kind of suck, but they're not bad people, right? And, not out there to try to, kill us and take us over. And they, no, they don't want nuclear war, right? Like we told ourselves that they did. And so governments from time to time have been very, very effective at villainizing and suppressing and controlling narratives and controlling even the mindset of populations. And it's not just the United States. Other countries do it all the time. Look at Iran right now, right? They're going through a revolution potentially, right? And look at the extraordinary means Tehran is willing to do to suppress their people, from information blackouts, right? And cutting off internet and in some cases, torture and killing. So this is nothing new. This is something that a lot of governments have done in the past and unfortunately continue to do. And the UFO topic is really no different. The UFO topic is one of those topics that our government spent a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of money trying to ridicule, specifically so they would have the latitude to actually do what they wanted to do, which was research the topic.
All right, guys, if you like this clip and you want to watch the full episode, click here. And if you want more content like this, you can subscribe to the show by clicking here.